How's everybody feeling? Thumbs up? All right. Do you want to switch your internet back? Okay, just all right, Warda, you're live. Take it away.
Perfect. Hi, welcome everyone. Welcome. Belen, would you like to get us started?
Yeah, of course. Welcome to the 7th annual Belen Access Peace Award Show.
We are here to celebrate 7 young people who are changing the world.
Hello, everyone. My name is Belen Quinones from PeaceJam, Merida.
And I am Warda Petersen from PeaceJam, South Africa. And we are your hosts for this exciting awards show.
The Belen Access Peace is an ambitious campaign of the PeaceJam Foundation, launched by our 14 Nobel Peace Laureates and youth from 40 countries to create 1 billion acts of peace by 2025, creating a critical tipping point for change.
We have reached a milestone. This global campaign has logged over 90 million acts of peace in 171 countries. This year's winners were chosen from over 10 million acts of peace worldwide in our 10 issue areas.
We have folks joining from all around the world. Take a minute now and add in which country you're joining from the chat.
Wow, we have folks from India, South Africa, and all of you watching on Facebook and YouTube Live. Let us know where you're from as well. Thank you for joining us to honor these 7 amazing award winners, each one a Nobel Peace Laureate in the making.
We are so excited to unveil an awesome new feature of the Belen Access platform. You can now take a quiz and post and find out our leadership style and your inner Nobel Peace Laureate. Once you've taken the quiz, you can use our photo booth to take a picture with the laureate and post it on your social media and upload it to our gallery.
Belen, which laureate did you get tied to? I was paired with Jodie Williams, and the leadership skill I paired with was the doer. How about you?
My novel laureate that I picked was Leima Bowie because I'm a huge
Wow.
fan of her. And my leadership style is an doer too.
Wow. Guys, to take this quiz, go to the billionx.org and you will see a graphic on the carousel saying engaging during the show. Add your name and email because you would need to sign up. This will literally take a few seconds. You just need to add your name and your email address. Add your support to our awareness so they can receive a mini grant. They only need a few more clicks to get there. Be sure to share your photos with us from the photo booth so that we can share them with you later during the show.
Okay, keep going, guys.
Perfect. So we are so pleased to have Chade-Meng Tan, the co-chair of the Billion Acts of Peace, with us today, affectionately known as Meng. He was instrumental in helping create the amazing Billion Acts platform that has become a global movement that is creating the conditions for world peace in our lifetime. Meng is an award-winning engineer, international best-selling author, thought leader, movie producer, and philanthropist, dedicated to creating a more peaceful world. In other words, he's a man of many talents. He is best known for bringing mindfulness to Google and to the corporate world. Meng, welcome. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you, friends. Let me start by bowing to you. Thank you all for being here. My friends, when it comes to changing the world, the three most important things you need are community, community, community. I know you're going like, wait, what's the second one again? So for myself, I found that picking up the courage to change the world is hard. Actually, it was very hard. However, sustaining the drive to change the world was even harder. The reason is that if you're trying to change the world, you keep getting discouraged over and over. Why? Because if you're trying to change the world, then by definition, you are doing something different from what everybody already understands, which means that people will not understand you, or if they understand you, they will not understand how we can succeed. Or worse, people have entrenched interest. And if you're doing something different, sometimes you're threatening their entrenched interest. Therefore, all change makers will face discouragement by a lot of people all the time. At least that was my experience and experience of everybody I've talked to. Most of the time, it's because people are well-meaning, right? They just don't understand. But sometimes people oppose you due to ignorance, stupidity, or even just malice or like racism. And then you have to face the ugly side of humanity. And I'm going to quote a very wise modern day philosopher who I've met. And she said this. She said, haters are going to hate. That was the experience. And it is very draining. And for me at least, and I used to experience this a lot. So what is the solution? I asked this to two of my heroes, President Jimmy Carter and the Zen master Thich Nhat Hanh, and they both gave me the same answer. And the answer is community. Having a strong network of like-minded friends, people like you trying to change the world, that changes everything. First, you will have a support network. Friends who know how discouraging it is to try to change the world. And because they know it, they know your pain. And therefore, they are here to encourage you. Right? The Dalai Lama frequently says, don't let the behavior of others destroy your inner peace. And this support network is one of the most important things that helps you keep your inner peace. And I think Father Tutu said something similar. He said, if you're going to change the world, you might as well have fun doing that. And this community is, again, this is where the fun is. So that's one. Secondly, you will have allies if you have community. It's like no matter how smart or how strong or how rich you are, even if you're Bill Gates, there is a limit to how much you can do alone. But if you have allies, then you have real impact. Then you can change the world. So my friends, 1 billion acts of peace. This is your community. We are your friends. At Belen X, we are led by 14 Nobel Peace Prize winners and surrounded by thousands of change makers, young change makers like yourself. We know how hard it is to try to change the world, and we know how important community is. So imagine this. Imagine yourself as a superhero operating mostly alone, like Spider-Man, right? In most of the Spider-Man movies. And then imagine joining the Avengers. So previously, you were already making a difference to your friendly neighborhood. But a lot of time, you feel alone. And sometimes you get so beat up, you want to give up. And then imagine joining the Avengers. That changes everything. It raises your impact to a whole new level. So friends, what is Belen X? Belen X is the Avengers for change makers. Every one of you here, friends, is already a superhero. You have already done great things for the world, and you will continue to do great things. I know that. And if we all come together as one community, our impact becomes immeasurable. And so, my friends, I welcome you to the Avengers. And in closing, I'd like to say, Belen X, example. Thank you.
Perfect, perfect. So now we're going to be playing a video.
Wow, what an amazing video, isn't it, Warda?
Absolutely. I mean, from Meng's beautiful, inspiring words to that powerful video.
So to continue with today's schedule, first of all, an amazing video, and I would also love to thank Mangs for his kind words of wisdom. And we are now excited to meet our finalists, who are really truly incredible as we've seen. And these folks are from all around the world, from South Sudan, Yemen, Sweden, South Africa, the US, and beyond. They were chosen for over 10 million acts of peace logged in 2020 and were selected because they created sustainable solutions addressing one of the billion acts of peace. 10 key areas. Each finalist demonstrated leadership and created social impact and positive change for the common good.
Now, the moment that we have all been waiting for, it is time to introduce our first 2021 Billion X winner, Jock Abraham Thon, and his Bullets to Book initiative from South Sudan.
"2021 Billion Acts finalist, Bullets to Books. Issue area, conflict resolution." From 1983 to 2011, as South Sudan fought for its independence, over 2 million people died due to disease, famine, slavery, and war, and 4 to 5 million more were displaced. In 2013, after only 2 years of peace, civil war broke out again, and the continued conflict has presented numerous humanitarian issues: widespread hunger, unsanitized water, crumbling infrastructure, and lack of access to education. In 2017, 2.2 million children, 72% of the country's primary school-age students, were not attending school. In 1991, when Jock Abraham Thon was 1 year old, he and his family were forced to flee their home in South Sudan to live in a refugee camp in Uganda, where his younger brother died of malaria. In 2013, carrying his sister on his back, Jock and his family were again forced to flee to another refugee camp, watching as others making the same journey were killed. While in the camp, Jock worked hard to receive his high school diploma, understanding that education was the key to ending the cycle of violence and poverty in his life and for those in South Sudan. In 2010, Jock returned to South Sudan with a calling to change minds from bullets to books. In 2016, he furthered this mission by partnering with Gail Prensky and the Yudushu Culture Bund Project to create Bullets to Books, an initiative to provide the opportunity for education to the children of South Sudan and around the world. Building temporary structures made out of bamboo and mud with his own hands, he created the Promised Land Secondary School, which has become one of the top performing schools in South Sudan and has graduated over 700 students. Promised Land provides free education, funds for university fees, and works to build a culture of peace among the students from different tribes of South Sudan. In 2018, Jock received the prestigious Mandela Washington Fellowship for Young African Leaders and recently visited with members of the United States Congress to showcase Promised Land as a model for educating youth in underserved and conflict-ridden communities around the world.
Wow, honestly, how inspiring. Guys, one more time, our first 2021 Billion X winner, Jock Abraham Thon. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much. You can read my happiness through my smile. I'm really excited to be part of this great platform. And this has been my call since I was a young boy, to see how young people can come together and be the agent of change. I could still remember my dad when he was struggling in the fighting that liberated South Sudan. And he could tell me that, son, the only hope is to get this country to be free so that you can enjoy services, education, and have a peaceful country. And As I was staying in Uganda, it was not easy because I was in the refugee camp. Life was hard, and seeing my younger brother dying because of malaria and didn't have access to medication. So when I finished school, I came back to South Sudan with hope to participate in the final fight, that was to vote for my country to be free. And I surely did with South Sudanese, and we voted with 99.9% to be a free country. And now, just 2 years later, we fall back to conflict because of illiteracy. When I saw the illiteracy was the problem, I decided to put down temporary structures in 2016. I surely believe the only way to have a permanent peace is to have literate society, a society that is having productive young people, society that carries nation at heart, society that is filled with pride of nation building, a country that is filled with people who are willing to be global change makers. With Promised Land Secondary School, I brought in 10 tribes, different tribes, students, and they are able to share different cultures, learn from each other, make new friends, and which is the most successful part of it, because when we learn about ourselves, we make good friendship. Now, let me share with you the bulletin book. The bulletin book is, in my idea, is a global transformer, a place whereby young people can come together and share ideas, learn from each other. With bulletin book, when I came to the United States, I met Gail Prinsky, and we started the documentary so that we could reach more young people across the world. I believe the young people need inspiration. We lost direction as young people when we criticize and blame, but not take action of what we see in the community. We become good leaders when we are willing to be the ladders to elevate other young people, to push them to another new level. That's make a great leader. I believe young people are not just to criticize and be activists, but to be beginners of anything, any successful project in their community. When I saw illiteracy was the problem in South Sudan, I started with Promised Land Secondary School. And that became my idea of my participation in building South Sudan. The people in the country will not ask what I need for them to do to me, but they will see that I love education, and that's why I started the school. And this is what I need for the young people around the world to do. When we talk about changes that we need to make in our society, climate change, try a movement, come up together and start it. Don't just speak about it, start it. When we talk about illiteracy, start it. The problem is when we don't believe in ourselves, when we think we are too young to act, this is our problem. But there's more than that. There's more power when we come together as young people. So the world will not be a better place when we don't take action. And this award is dedicated to most vulnerable girls around the world, girls that face inequality. Where I come from, the culture is interfering a lot with girl child. The girls are not allowed to enjoy most rights like boys. And this is one of the things that I was campaigning, to have a dialogue with parents, tell them the importance of a girl child, tell them that a girl child could be more important or could be as equal as a boy child. And these are the dialogues that we need to have in our societies. Taking away the bad cultures, replace them with a successful cultures that is all about humanity. And this is the message that I need to dedicate to young people. And I accept this award with my whole heart. And this award goes to young refugee children who don't know what future holds for them. I know and I feel your pain. I went through the life in the refugee camp, but here I am today because I accepted to be the change. I accepted to fight for what I love. I accepted to bring the young people together. I accepted there's nothing impossible. I accepted that I have all it takes to move South Sudan, Africa, and the continent forward, a free from gun violence, a free from hatred and racism, a free from climate change. All this can be happening when we believe in ourselves. Thank you so much. And I hope to interact with you outside the Belen Peace Award and reach out to me and learn more about my things. Thank you so much. And I really, really need to thank the Bulletin Book team for their tireless effort. They have exerted to create this great documentary and a platform. It is not a single man effort, it is a team effort. And this is what we need to believe. As a leader, you need to be a good team leader, and that's where you will succeed. You cannot succeed when you're not a good team leader. Don't be the boss. It doesn't matter. Be the team builder, and that's where you can succeed. Congratulations to all my colleagues and the Billion of Act Peace Award and the PeaceJam and the young people across the world. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Job. Thank you. Congratulations. What an amazing speech. So we're heading to our next winner of today, Salim Al-Harasi from GEM.
(2021) Billion Acts finalist Salim Al-Harasi. Issue area: Human Rights. In 2011, many people in Yemen began to rise up against their government and demand a change in leadership due to unemployment, food insecurity, and corruption. On March 18th, what began as a nonviolent demonstration soon escalated, and 50 protesters were shot and killed, and 200 others were wounded by those believed to be supporters of the current government. One of the wounded was 10-year-old Salim Al-Harasi, who after being struck by a bullet was permanently blinded. The civil war that followed has led to more than 100,000 deaths, 4 million people being displaced, and caused an enormous toll on people with disabilities who already find themselves on the margins of society and excluded from humanitarian assistance. The accident changed the course of Salim's life, as families of people with disabilities in Yemen face social stigma, and many are denied access to education, employment, and healthcare. After being told he should just remain at home, he entered a school for the blind and continued to push himself to find other ways to memorize, learn, adapt, and unlock his other abilities. Salim has become an outspoken advocate, hosting many events and talks, including a TED Talk at TEDx Kids at Sana, focusing on how he lost his sight, but not his dreams. Salim works every day to educate others about the power of words in reaching your dreams and how to approach, support, and become an ally for those with different abilities. He pushes decision makers at universities, in government positions, and in the workplace to find ways to provide blind students opportunities and innovative ways to unlock their true potential. Additionally, he works as a teacher, volunteering at schools that aren't for those who are blind in order to share his experience and perspective with the students. Salim is determined to prove that the blind and those with different abilities are fully capable of helping and advocating for themselves and others, and becoming productive and inspirational members of society when given the chance.
Wow, honestly, I
So,
love that quote.
Salim, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. My name is Salim Al-Harazi. I'm from Yemen. Actually, I'm so proud to be one of the people with disabilities, and so proud to be one of those young leaders who believe that reality is changeable. I worked to tell others that people with disabilities are so capable and powerful to be the change makers and the peacemakers, and only to wait for others who are going to change the reality. But
it seems we might have lost Salim, but when he comes back on, we can just continue that. But let's go over to our next awardee, and that is Detroit Feedback Loop from Detroit, Michigan.
2021 Billion Acts finalist, Detroit Feedback Loop. Issue area, global health and wellness. Every year, over 70 billion pounds of food, over 40 billion meals, are wasted in the United States. While 40% of the U.S. food supply rots in landfills, over 50 million Americans remain food insecure. Additionally, many of the foods that are the most affordable and accessible do not provide adequate nutrition and result in chronic health problems such as diabetes and heart disease. In 2019, Detroit, Michigan was listed as the #2 most impoverished big city in the United States, with 30.6% of its residents living below the poverty line. Nicholas Ang and Camila Cascardo witnessed firsthand the massive food waste occurring in their university cafeteria and the struggle for the local soup kitchens and shelters within a few blocks of campus to receive enough food donations to serve the community. In order to address these issues, they created Detroit Feedback Loop, a student-run, nonprofit organization that collects leftovers and unused food items from local restaurants, grocery stores, and events, and mobilizes volunteers to redistribute this food. Their mission is to fix the broken food system by creating a feedback loop among students, residents, businesses, and local food banks and shelters across Detroit, and aim to provide more nutritious and affordable options to their community. Nicholas and Camila designed and implemented a safe and efficient food transportation infrastructure and have partnered with organizations and businesses like Forgotten Harvest and Gleaners Community Food Bank to prepare fresh meals and provide same-day delivery. Detroit Feedback Loop has delivered over 54,000 meals, and now Nicholas and Camila, while both in their third year of medical school, continue to train Wayne State University students to run Detroit Feedback Loop's operations. They have now expanded their mission to include providing food and nutrition education for inner-city schools and communities.
Wow, there you have it, everyone. Detroit Feedback Loop from Detroit, Michigan. And now we welcome Nicholas Ang as well as Camila Cascardo. The floor is yours.
Hello, everybody. We'd like to start off by thanking PeaceJam for honoring Detroit Feedback Loop with the Billion Acts Award. We'd also like to thank our friends and volunteers who've helped DFL grow, as well as Wayne State for their continued support. Also a special shout out to KJ and her team for continuing to help us run operations as student leaders. So Detroit Feedback Loop started as two friends trying to solve something simple in front of us, food waste in our cafeteria, with the help of friends and local business owners that then expanded into what it is today. We really believe that anyone can create change in their community. You just have to start somewhere. We all know that food waste and hunger are not new concepts, but it's easy to let something like the bystander effect cloud your desire to create change. For us, the first step started in driving the food to a local shelter with our friends. And through that, we realized that the environment around us is more malleable than we first thought. By taking action, you'll find people around you that will join you and support your cause, the community. Being the one to take the first step is the hardest part.
We encourage all of you to get involved in your own communities, especially this holiday season. Small acts of kindness can really go a long way, whether it's just volunteering your time or donating a home-cooked meal. Those acts don't go unnoticed. Whether it's food donations, clothing donations, or simply just spending time talking to somebody in need, together these small acts of kindness can create lasting change. Additionally, if anyone is interested in starting a program like Detroit Feedback Loop in their own community or college, or if you have a startup idea and you'd like advice for that, Nicholas and I are willing to be mentors and share the model that worked for us. With that, we'd like to share one last thanks for this incredible recognition today and for the community of global activists, just like our fellow finalists, that PeaceJam has honored us to join. Thank you again and congratulations to everyone.
Thank you, Detroit Feedback Club. That was an amazing speech and congratulations for all the work you do. So to introduce our next award winner, and that is Marimba Jam from South Africa.
2021 Billion Acts finalist, Marimba Jam. Issue area, alleviating poverty. The South African education system has some of the biggest disparities between wealthy and poor schools in the world. The crumbling infrastructure, overcrowded classrooms, and lack of resources for many underfunded schools continues to perpetuate inequality throughout the country. In the poorest areas, teacher-to-student ratios can be as high as 1 to 70, with more than 41% lacking sufficient numbers of teachers and 60% of teachers working in schools with more than 10% of students whose first language is not the language of instruction. Many approaches to bridging the education gap have failed, as each community has different challenges, languages, and its own cultural identity. Kiara Ramclass, while in high school, grew concerned about the inequality in schools across South Africa and the fact that youth were so disconnected from each other. She founded Marimba Jam to share her passion and the belief that music has the power to unlock the potential within every child and the power to unite an entire nation. Kiara began providing transportation for kids from under-resourced schools to schools with music equipment to learn marimba. The program quickly grew from 20 to 120 students from all different socioeconomic backgrounds and now teaches over 500 students per week. Marimba Jam broke the world record for the title of largest marimba ensemble in the world and has both a performing band made up of university students and a diverse professional performing band. Marimba Jam created a curriculum to offer marimba as the first African instrument as a subject instrument in schools. The curriculum will make it easy for other schools and communities around South Africa to implement inclusive and accessible music programs. Marimba Jam students who are able to pay for the classes help offset the cost for under-resourced schools on a sliding scale. By combining schools of different socioeconomic backgrounds and having students come together to share in the joy of making music, Marimba Jam encourages nation building in post-apartheid South Africa and fosters a greater appreciation and empathy for each other.
So we're ready to hear Kiara's speech. So welcome, Kiara, founder of Marimba Jam. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much. It is an absolute honor to be here today amongst the amazing change makers. When I was in high school, it became very apparent that in a post-apartheid South Africa, there are huge inequalities which still exist, especially within our education system. And so as a high school student, having the privilege of being able to learn music and feeling the joy and all the benefits that music brought to me, I felt compelled to want to share that joy with schools who didn't have access to music or arts education. And so after the very first Marimba Jam workshop, there was this incredible energy on stage from learners who had never touched an instrument before, performing to a crowd full of people, creating beautiful music. And it just showed me that there is an incredible amount of potential that lies within every child. And unfortunately, our circumstances do not give every child the access to explore and develop this creative potential. And so the work we do at Marimba Jam really is something which I feel we need to spread to many more schools and many more communities, because in South Africa, some schools don't even have running water or textbooks. So for us to be bringing music education into the schools, it really, it's something which I hope to build a sustainable business model around. And that's really how we developed our social enterprise business model, where we use the profits we make from teaching at private schools to sustain the free lessons that we can do at under-resourced schools. And in this way, we also build a community, which we call our Jam Fam. And this is students from different socioeconomic backgrounds, rich schools, poor schools. They all come together at our annual Marimba Jam events, where we bring together our 500 students under one banner, which is our Jam Fam community, so that we can also help build empathy and break down those socioeconomic barriers that tend to separate the youth in our country. And that's really how we found our motto, which is finding harmony in community. And today, I'd really like to leave you with the message of, in your own communities, go out there and find the harmony, because together, this is how we as young people are going to build a better world. And yes, at Marimba Jam, we just chose music education, but there are so many more issues that you can solve in creative ways, building sustainable business models so that you can continue the work that you do wherever you are. So thank you, Billion Acts Awards, for recognizing the work we do, and we hope to spread it to a lot more schools and children. Thank you very much.
So that's awesome, Kiara. Now we're gonna take a brief intermission and show an incredible performance by the Marimba Jam community. And please, I would remind you all that take the quiz and support these amazing awardees. Thank you everyone who has already done the quiz, and these folks are even closer to receiving those mini grants. We'd also like to invite you all of watching to support these young leaders by making an email donation today to raise funds for the mini grants. We've set up an easy way to do this. Just send a text to 44321 Billion X. That's one word for Billion X to 44321. Any donation is appreciated.
Wow, honestly, talented, extremely talented. I think for me, what stood out the most is, going back to what Warda said about inclusivity, is that is seeing everyone on that stage had a role to play. And I think that was so beautiful. So a big, big congratulations to you once again, Marimba Jam and to Warda, you are changing the world. Everyone on this call is changing the world. So thank you so much for that performance. I mean, I was dancing. I hope everyone else was. So let's get on to our next awardee. And we would like to mention Humanium Medal from Sweden.
(2021) Billion Axe finalist, Humanium Medal. Issue area, disarmament. Each year, 200,000 people are killed with a firearm worldwide, and over 2,000 are injured daily. In 2015, El Salvador was named the deadliest country outside a war zone, with a 70% spike in violent deaths from previous years. The community became paralyzed by fear, which hindered investments and socioeconomic development and guaranteed that the cycle of violence and poverty would continue. Humanium Medal, founded in 2016 by IM Swedish development partner, helped communities permanently remove 6,000 weapons from circulation to help reduce gun violence across El Salvador. Together with the Salvadorian Survivors Network and the Foundation for the Application of Law, Humanium Medal works to remove firearms in communities, transform them into valuable metal products like watches, bracelets, and sculptures, and use the funds raised to support initiatives related to reducing gun violence. Humanium Medal is largely run by youth leaders under the age of 35, consisting of Jacqueline Duer, Lucia Greco, Yusuf Tolosa, and Simon Mark Gran. From working in conflict zones and in security and peacekeeping to business and innovation, the Humanium Medal team brings together a pool of young leaders with complementary skills and experiences that enable them to work in a large partner ecosystem, together with government agencies, civil society organizations, commercial partners, UN agencies, and universities. Humanium Medal, or Peace Medal, is created from recycled metals from weapon destructions. It gives brands, artists, and designers worldwide the opportunity to create products that carry the symbolic power of peace and help victims of armed violence simultaneously. Since 2016, over 12,000 illegal firearms have been turned into Peace Medal by the Humanium Medal teams in El Salvador and Zambia. Humanium Medal continues to work with companies, individuals, government agencies, and NGOs worldwide to reduce more than 875 million small arms in circulation. The most recent project launched in the US on October 16th in conjunction with the Portland, Maine Police Department. They also lead violence prevention efforts for youth, provide support for survivors, incorporate provisions for violence prevention in every country's national action plan, and inspire all countries to join the Arms Trade Treaty.
Wow, and now we'd like to welcome Jacqueline Zacher. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Warda. I'd like to thank you all in the name of I'm Swedish Development Partner and Humanium Medal. We would like to specifically thank the UNODA Youth for Disarmament Initiative for nominating us, and of course, Billion Acts of Peace and PeaceJam for recognizing our contribution to peace with Humanium Medal. Gun violence is an issue of global magnitude, and we can only overcome it if we stand together. I invented Humanium Medal as a tool, basically, to end gun violence in communities around the world. By transforming weapons of war into products that bring joy and that allow us to work on the root causes of violence together with our partners. And we definitely don't have enough time today to thank everyone involved in the success of Humanium Medal, but we would like to take time to highlight the key role of our partner organizations, FESPAD and Redes Sobrevivientes in El Salvador, where Humanium Medal was brought to life first. And we would like to dedicate this award to our dear colleague and friend, Amilcar Duran, who recently passed away and who played a massive role in the work of Humanium Metal in El Salvador. Amilcar founded Red Sobrevivientes at a very young age, after he was shot and had to overcome countless barriers, living with a lasting disability. And overcome he did. He inspired countless survivors of gun violence and people with disabilities to exercise their agency and live their life to the fullest. And he was a strong voice against gun violence in El Salvador. He remains and will always remain a vivid inspiration for all of us at Humanium Metal. In his footsteps, we aim to do what everyone says is impossible, ending gun violence for good.
Thank you, Jacqueline. And we would like to call you all to take action as well. Whether you're an activist, a student, a parent, business owner, a politician, or a mayor, reach out to us and join us in the fight to end gun violence, one destroyed gun at a time.
I would like to emphasize on how honored and proud we are to be here, and with all of you fantastic individuals, organizations, and initiatives. And it's also just a true inspiration to be here tonight and to learn from all of you. And I would once again say a big and humble and a big, huge thank you from the IM and Humanium Metal team. And this nomination and this recognition is for all of our partners and activists. Thank you very, very much. Thank you.
Congratulations, Humanium Metal. Thank you for all the amazing labor you do with your project. And that was an amazing speech. So please join our next award winner, Kylie Micro from South Africa.
2021 Billion Acts finalist, the Kaylee campaign. Issue area, education and community development. Over 1 billion people, 15% of the global population, experience some form of disability, qualifying them as the largest minority group in the world. Throughout history, disabled people have contributed and transformed their societies as artists, athletes, scientists, teachers, and in many other ways, despite often having less access to education and employment opportunities, more severe health challenges, and higher poverty rates. In South Africa, 3 million people are living with disabilities, and despite having disability rights as part of their constitution, little has been done to actively integrate people with disabilities into mainstream society. Kaylee Mycroft was diagnosed with cerebral palsy at 11 months old. At age 9, Kaylee was in great need of a new motorized wheelchair, but her family could not afford it, so she, her sister, and 3 close friends, all under 12 years old, created a fundraising project to raise the money themselves, and did so in just 7 weeks. Their success inspired them to launch the Kaylee campaign to champion a more ability-focused and inclusive community in South Africa. The campaign has grown to provide early childhood education, assistive devices, training, therapies, and community outreach programs to over 7,000 beneficiaries each year. The Kaylee campaign provides inclusive education throughout South Africa, inviting youth to participate in inclusive sports and arts programs, and provide leadership and entrepreneurship opportunities within the disabled community. Kaylee is a human rights advocate and athlete. She won the International Children's Peace Prize, is working on her PhD, and has broken several world records for marathons, mountain climbing, and dancing. She also became the first female quadriplegic to summit Mount Kilimanjaro in 2015. In 2017, Kaylee started the Kaylee Foundation USA with fellow quadriplegic athlete Jean Altamari, and in 2021 created a Global Ambassadors program with hopes of expanding leadership opportunities to more youth worldwide.
Amazing video. So now, welcome Kaylee Macro, founder of the Kaylee campaign. Kaylee, the floor is yours.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much, first of all, to PeaceJam and Belen for creating a platform like this to share the stories of everybody who is making a difference. And it's really a privilege to be in this group and to be able to work with everybody and collaborate and see where the journey takes us together. I have been a disabled person my entire life, and I think what makes disability a really interesting challenge is that it is super complex because everybody experiences their disability in a different way, but it's also really simple to address people's issues if you listen and you let disabled people tell you what they need themselves. And that is where our work comes from. We really want to empower people with disabilities to claim their stories and share their stories and have other people go on the journey with us. And it's really the root of our ethos, is that you have to start where people are. You have to ask them, you have to allow them and enable them to be the leaders in their own stories and to encourage other people to come with us. You know, it's not simple to be a disabled person, and I think regularly we have to combat so much negativity, and I'm really proud of the work that we do at the Katie Campaign and the Katie Foundation USA, because we focus on the stories of motivation and that we can do things even though it's hard. And having that at our core means that we have a more sustainable plan because we're not in control of what we're doing. We are guided by the needs of everybody. And we believe in the idea that disabled people deserve everything that non-disabled people have without asking. We shouldn't have to fight for these things, but we will, and we can. And that makes me really excited about the journey ahead, because if we can take everybody's experiences and work with those experiences, we can make really, really good solutions to this disability challenges. And that would be my challenge to everybody watching, is to listen and to tell your stories and be proud of your stories, because they make us who we are, they make life interesting, and we should be able to live our full selves with our disabilities and have people celebrate that with us. So thank you again to PeaceJam for allowing us to celebrate disability in this beautiful way. And I'm excited to see where we go together in the future.
So powerful. Honestly, once again, congratulations, Kaylee. Just wanted to quote yourself. You said, empower people with disabilities to claim and share their stories. Be the leaders in their own stories. I think that is so beautiful. And once again, congratulations, you are representing South Africa in the house tonight. Whoop, whoop. So once again, congratulations, Kaylee. And now it is time for our final winner, guys. Deja Fox from the USA.
2021 Billion Acts finalist, Deja Fox. Issue area, Advancing Women and Children. From 2017 to 2018, it is estimated that over 1.5 million school-aged children experienced homelessness in the United States. 1 in 30 teens experienced hidden homelessness, having no place to call home, lacking any kind of support, and hiding their situation from their teachers and friends. To survive, they stay with family members or friends, or live in unsafe accommodations, often having just left unsafe or abusive situations. Many rely solely on free clinics in their school to meet their healthcare needs. Deja Fox struggled secretly with hidden homelessness while pushing herself to become the first in her family to go to college. Struck by the outdated sex education classes and lack of access to healthcare for her and her peers, Deja began to speak out to protect Title X funding, and in 2017 confronted her Arizona state senator about his stance to deny young women like her these services during a local town hall. The video was posted online and received over 17 million views, placing her at the center of the nationwide debate on reproductive rights almost overnight. Deja and her peers successfully campaigned for more comprehensive sex education in their school district and co-founded the El Rio Reproductive Health Access Project, an initiative that trains youth to run free teen clinics and has provided care to over 17,000 young people. Deja worked as an influencer and political strategist for Kamala Harris's presidential campaign, becoming the youngest person in modern history to hold this position. She was also the MAC Cosmetic brand's youngest ever Viva Glam ambassador, taking part in their initiative to support people living with HIV/AIDS, and a dream leader for Nike, advocating alongside the U.S. women's national soccer team for equal pay. She has used her online platforms to raise thousands of dollars for youth on their own and secured product donations for them to help alleviate period poverty. In 2020, Deja helped create the Gen Z Girl Gang, an inclusive online community of over 14,000 women and femmes who support each other through mentorships and intergenerational events and are deeply engaged in sharing resources, lifting one another up, and embracing collaboration over competition.
Let's welcome Deja Fox. The floor is yours.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for having me. After having sat here and listened to everyone's story, I feel just so incredibly grateful to be among this group. And as I sort of think of how to share my story, these moments always feel so exceptional, right, when we receive awards, but I want to preface it with a reminder that folks like me are not exceptional. We're representative. I'm representative of what is possible for you and for our communities when we have the access to the tools we need to access our full potential. And so the story I want to share today is a simple one. And it was a moment when at 15, I was experiencing hidden homelessness, right, not having a home of my own. And I was deeply engaged in activism. I was trying to get involved and change the sex education curriculum in my school district. And one of the organizers asked me if I'd like to go to a training on story of self. And I said, I would, but I can't make it. My family just doesn't have a car. And she said just a few words that really changed my life. And that was, I'll pick you up. And from there, I learned how to tell my story. I told it at school board meetings and changed sex education curriculums. I told it at town halls and gained national attention. And I told it in college essays that allowed me to become the first in my family to go on to college. And she, in that moment, taught me what it means to meet people where they're at. And I think as we work with young people, as we empower youth to create change, we have to remember the importance of meeting them where they're at. And my message to young people today is that message of story, that your story is yours and yours alone to tell, and it is important, and it has so much power to create change. I don't want you to wait until you have a fancy degree or a great job to think that you are qualified. You, like me, are an expert in your own experience. And when I went on to work on the Kamala Harris campaign at just 19 as the influencer and surrogate strategist, in my first day in our orientation, my boss put one word on the screen, and that word was perspective. And he reminded us that there were so many other people out there who had maybe better connections or had been in this space longer, but that there was no one that had the perspective that we did. And that's why we sat there, right? That's why we were able to occupy this position and why we were so valuable. And so as I sit here today, I hope that each of you embraces the power in your perspective, and that you shed any fear you have around sharing your story, and share what is uncomfortable but not unsafe for you as your means of making change, right? And so once again, thank you all so much for having me. Thank you for allowing me to share my story. Thank you for sharing your stories with us, and using your experience and your perspective in the service of change.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much, Deja. Your story is really, really inspiring. I am joining us currently. I'm Lauren, our Director of Global Programs at the PeaceJam Foundation, and I'm joining to introduce a very special guest who has graced us with her presence tonight, Belen and Warda. Please thank you for giving me space to jump in. You're our amazing host this evening. You're doing a terrific job, and love to have our young people always in the spotlight. I would love to introduce Nobel Peace Prize winner Tawakkol Karman. Tawakkol Karman is a member of the PeaceJam Foundation. She just last week celebrated 10 years since winning the Nobel Peace Prize. She was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 2011 for her work in Yemen as a journalist. She daily stood up for democracy, freedom of speech, and women's participation in Yemen as a journalist. And not only in Yemen, her story and her protest, her peaceful protest, reached ears across the Middle East and across the world. She continues to be a very strong activist and advocate for freedom of press, freedom of speech, and women's participation in peace building processes. And it's just an honor to have her with us tonight. You all saw Salim earlier. We have a finalist from Yemen who is here with us tonight. So it's just beautiful. A beautiful opportunity to welcome Tawakkol to give a few words to our amazing finalists this evening.
Hello, everyone. How are you? I'm so happy to be with you today. I'm so honored that there are a lot of young people that is now well internationally recognized by our prize by PeaceJam. It's a great opportunity for you.
Tawakkol, are you able to put on your video?
Do you hear me or no?
I can hear you, but are you able to put on your video?
No, I couldn't. I'm sorry, I couldn't.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Yeah,
Thank you for
yes.
joining us.
Sorry for that. I told Kate that I will not be able to attend by video, so allow me to participate with you by just voice.
Thank you.
And maybe you will listen to my baby also voice at the same time. So do you hear me clearly or not?
Yes, we do. Please keep going, and thank you for being with us.
Okay. Again, I said I'm so happy to be with you today. I am so honored and that I am now sharing this thought with the great leaders for the future, those young people that I think the world is waiting for them, waiting for their solutions, waiting for their initiatives. I'm so proud of all the people here. I'm so proud of Salim from Yemen and other people. So I think they have a great responsibility after this international recognition and after this prize on making more difference and big differences in their societies and around the world. So I'm so happy, and I count on all of you, and I'm proud on all of you. I'm sorry I couldn't share with you this comment with my picture with video because I am in another place that I will not be able to do that. But in general, I'm so proud of you, and I'm waiting, and the world is waiting for you. Lead the change, fight corruption, fight dictatorship around the world, lead the peaceful movements around the world, and believe on yourself. Believe on that that you can do a great difference. Be in the front line and don't be afraid. Always carry your noble values and believe that you will be the one who will achieve it, and gather people around you who will share with you your dream and who will share with you your journey for a great future for you, for your family, for your society, and for the world. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Tawakkol. It is so wonderful to hear your voice. Such an honor and a privilege to have you here with us tonight. Thank you, thank you, thank you for your words of wisdom. I love gather people around you who believe in you and your cause and stick with your noble values. I think that's something that is so beautiful and a really special piece of advice for our finalists here tonight who will go forward in the world after today to continue that work and that struggle for peace, just like you have these past 10 years since you won the Nobel and even before. So thank you, Tawakkol. It's just an honor and beautiful to have you with us. So now I'll hand it back over.
Thank you so much, and I'm waiting to meet you and with all my great young leaders in person very soon, inshallah.
Yes.
Inshallah. Inshallah, soon we will meet in person again.
And this is my baby Aram. Say hello to all of you. Hello. So Aram will be, I will show his face to you. Do you see Aram?
Hold on. Aram, hello.
This is Aram. Say hello. Okay.
He's
This
beautiful.
is hello from Aram. Okay. Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much, Tawakkol Carmen, for joining us. Warda and Belen, please take it away as we introduce our next part of the presentation.
Perfect. Again, congratulations to you, Tawakkol. Guys, our very own Nobel Peace Laureate. Congratulations for 10 years of winning the Nobel Peace Prize. I think for me, one thing that completely stood out of your speech was inspiration, as well as believing in yourself, believing that you can, that others can, and that you will. So once again, thank you so much. Thanks to everyone who has joined us. Thank you to all of our incredible awardees. They are pretty incredible, right, Meng?
Oh, yes. Yes, very inspiring. So I have a confession, by the way. you can see me, right? I have a confession. I haven't actually met for those of you viewing at home, I haven't actually met the awardees because I'm the chair of this. And being chair means that I don't do any work, but I get all the glory. so I read all the packets. So I know the work you did. So I was already impressed. But seeing all of you in person and hearing from you, I'm even more impressed and I'm very inspired. And so thank you so much for just being here.
Absolutely beautiful, and agree with you, Meng. Agree with you. So let us get into the discussion, the panel discussion, and we've got 3 questions. And the first question that we've got is posed to Salim, Kiara, Kaylee, and the Detroit Feedback Loop team. And the first question is, what are some of the processes and tactics you've used to overcome challenges? I'd say it again. What are some of the processes and tactics you've used to overcome challenges? Salim, would you like to answer first? Okay, perfect. If Salim is not able to, we can go to Kiara.
Yes, I can. Okay.
Okay, perfect. You can go, Salim.
Sorry for the disconnection when I didn't finish, but let me answer the question. Actually, what is important for a young person to overcome any kind of challenge is to ask all people for their opinions, to share their opinions with you and experience, because you will get the most benefit image about how to overcome that. Another thing is try to have a lot of friends, thousands of friends, because this is so helpful. Also, I guess keep trying, try thousands of times, and be patient. Thank you.
Perfect, Kiara.
Yes, so same in line with Salim, is, you know, to really have people around you that you can trust to lean on. And I'm actually honored that 2 of my mentors are in the room today, Steve Reed and Karen Eckstein. And, you know, I met my mentors in the last couple of years. And before then, you know, I was really kind of blindly going through, you know, building the social enterprise. And one of the things, apart from the mentorship and building a strong team, is the idea of finding that true purpose in what you do. And Simon Sinek, who I'm sure a lot of us are familiar with, which is find your why, that was quite inspiring for me, because really when you find the core why of what you're doing, that really helps you overcome any challenge, because I see challenges as more of, you know, something that needs a solution. And so how do we think of a creative way to solve this challenge? And I think that if we are aligned to our why, we can solve any challenge that comes our way. But yes, definitely having the support of people around me who believe in the work that we do really uplifts you in those times where you feel like, you know, you might be knocked down from a challenge. It's great to know that there's people and your community, and I think that's why it's important for us that we build our communities and we nourish them, because with that support behind you, you can really overcome any challenge.
Beautiful. Kaylee, would you like to go?
Yeah, so I fully agree with everything that has been said already. I do feel I'm going to throw a little bit of a different perspective in here, though. I think for me, one strategy that I use regularly is crying and also laughing. I think that you have to, when we work in the industry that we do, it's hard, and we have to acknowledge that it's hard and we deal with big things, but we also get into like ridiculous situations that can be funny, and we need to embrace that side of life as well, because I think I use sarcasm and humor all the time to also, you know, raise awareness. If I'm saying something sarcastically, there's still a little bit of knowledge in there that people are taking away, even if it's said in a sassy way. And that would be my 2 cents. Like, not necessarily overcoming things, because sometimes they stay with us, but learning to live with them and laugh with them and cry with them and embrace all of the emotions that exist in that space. Yeah.
So beautiful. I think before we quickly go to Detroit, you know, just hearing what you said, it reminded me of a quote that says, change the narrative, laugh in those places that you have cried. And I think that that was just so beautiful and so powerful. So thank you so much for adding that to the mix. Lastly, Nicholas and Camilla, would you like to have a turn?
Yeah, I think that we'd both like to just echo everything that everyone has said. I think we went through a lot of the same things, the laughing, the crying, reaching out to mentors and finding people that really supported us. But I think as Nicholas and I were thinking about what to say today, we realized that our organization really grew from these barriers that we faced. And had those barriers not been there, we wouldn't have been challenged to take on new initiatives with our program. You know, one of the very first barriers that we faced was the cafeteria at our school not wanting to give us their donations at the end of the day for fear that, you know, they would be liable if someone got sick. And so that really pushed us to create a nonprofit organization to make sure that we could take on any legal challenges that came up. Luckily, none did. But, you know, and then from there, we wanted to make sure that our organization lived on beyond us, because we knew we were going to medical school. We wouldn't be at our university forever. And so that forced us to kind of turn it into an organization on campus. And, you know, each barrier led to a new challenge, a new opportunity. And I think that the main takeaways for us were that persistence is really important, and making sure that if you believe in your idea and you know that your idea is good, be confident about it. Show other people that you believe in it, and they'll believe in it too, and they'll support you.
Yeah, and something to just add on to that too is like, it's the hardest part, starting to believe in yourself that you're able to actually make change in something that's systemic, and something like hunger and poverty. For us, I mean, we're not going to solve it on our own, but we can start, and we can start somewhere. And I think, you know, like Camila was saying, when we started to get the ball rolling, things just grew, and the community support we received was tremendous. And we really want to encourage people to just start. You're not going to solve, you know, these issues on your own, but you're going to be part of the solution. And I think if we all join in and do a little bit here and there, there's going to be bigger solutions that come together.
Absolutely beautiful. You know, I agree with everything you all have said. And just quoting one of our Nobel Peace laureates as well, just based on what Nicholas has said about if we all do our bits. He has this quote that we often use and make reference to at PeaceJam is, do your bits of good wherever you are in the world, for it's those bits of good put together that overwhelm the world. And that's by Archbishop Desmond Tutu, our Nobel Peace laureate. Perfect. So thank you so much for sharing. We're going to go to the second question. Belen, would you like to pose the second question?
Yeah, of course. Our second question is for Deja Fox, the Humanium Medal, and Bullets to Book team. So the question is, can you each give us a snapshot of the world you're trying to create? And we can start with Deja. Deja, you can answer.
Yeah. As I think about the world I want to create, it's one that's defined by choice, right? And as we think about that in the context of reproductive justice, that means having control over our bodies and control over our futures. But it also means, the choice to go on to school or not. And I think when we empower communities with choices and autonomy, that's when we can really move forward on all of our issues. And so the world that I'd like to create is one in which people have access to the tools they need to really make those choices for themselves. And therefore, our communities can reach their full potentials. So yeah, the world I'd like to create is one defined by choice.
Thank you. Amazing. So we can go maybe next to the Humanium Medal team.
Yeah, thank you. I think the world we want to see is definitely a world free of gun violence. And we really want to achieve this by basically joining a global movement on this. We want everyone to have the opportunity to contribute to this movement by, be it community activism, be it by using Humanium Metal in their businesses, by speaking out on global platforms. And yeah, I would like to invite everyone who's interested to basically join us at Humanium Metal and check our homepage out and see whether you want to maybe use it in your community, in your country, in your business, so that we can end gun violence together.
Thank you, Jacqueline. You all should definitely check their website so you can collaborate. And finally, Jog, would you like to answer the question?
Sure. So the world I need to see is a peaceful world, and a world where we are all equal, we embrace equality. The world that we all love each other, because if you see all the problems that are just happening across the world, it is not that people don't know it is wrong, but they just do it intentionally. Look at rampant corruption. Don't you think they are all aware of what they are doing as something bad? They know it, but they lack the love of humanity. So the world I need to see is the world that we share our ideas, we share our resources, and we embrace ourselves. What they don't know is the fear that you have in yourself is because you don't have the peaceful world around you. So why don't you create the peaceful world so that you can enjoy it, you can move freely? So that's the world I need to see, a world of literate society, a world of equality, no matter where you come from.
Thank you, Jog, for your intervention. So I think that's it for the questions today. Thank you all for your answers.
Do we have time for one last question?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
we do.
Yeah,
Yes,
okay.
over to you, Meng.
Okay, yes, I have the last question. And I want to ask this question to everybody. And this question is, can each of you tell us one thing we can all do to help you realize your vision? And let's begin with Salim.
Sorry, can I did not understand the question.
What is one thing we can all do to help you realize your vision, my friend?
I guess I mean, having a heard voice.
Thank you. Let's see. Kiara?
Thank you. You know, and I think that the visions we have are so huge amongst all of the finalists here today, and are building a world where every child allows them to explore their true potential. And so to me, I would like to call upon everyone listening today to find that thing that makes you angry in your community and do something to build more equal access, whether for us it's to music and arts education. It's also advocating for these things, which, you know, at many schools in rural countries, maths and science are normally put at the forefront. But I believe that there's so much power in the arts and allowing your creative potential to be explored. So wherever you are, if you have a chance, be creative, pick up a musical instrument, do it yourself, and explore that joy and share that joy. So thank you.
Thank you. I love joy. That's my favorite thing. Kaylee?
I think for me, it's about creating welcoming spaces where, regardless of how you enter a room, that you feel that you belong in that room. And I think one thing that we often say at the Katie campaign is that inclusion can't be learned, it has to be lived. And that would be my my one thing would be go into those spaces and learn about people and be open to not knowing what you're doing. That's okay. As long as you're willing to learn how to work with people and learn how they work and being open to the lessons that life has to offer us. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, not knowing what I'm doing, that's why I'm good at. Detroit.
Okay, sorry, we're having a little difficulty unmuting ourselves there. But in order for you guys to all help us realize our mission and our vision, I think it takes a lot of introspection, because everyone around the world, you know, has food in their homes, or maybe they don't, but those of us that do and are fortunate enough to have access to food, making sure that we're not wasting the food that we have, making sure that we're, you know, checking expiration dates and not over purchasing foods. That's one way that we can really help to create a more sustainable future for everyone. And in addition to that, obviously donating food when you can, but it all starts in your own home and making changes that you can control as well.
Yeah, and then something else I'll add on to in general is for people experiencing homelessness and on the street, some of the biggest things I've heard from people is that outside of food, the biggest thing that they want is sometimes just acknowledgement and knowing that, like, you know, you're not just walking by someone on the street and not even looking at them. I think one person told me that the hardest part was someone not even like looking at them and making eye contact with them. I think even if you don't have food to give or money to provide, the human connection and showing that, you know, you recognize them, you see them, that can be powerful. And that, you know, is the challenge we have for you guys.
Thank you. Deja?
Yeah, once again, reflecting on those personal experiences I shared earlier, some of the most powerful differences that were made in my life were simply because other people believed in me and they chose to share that with me. They saw my potential and then pushed me to see it too. And so one small act that you can take today is just affirming someone in your life, shooting them a message and letting them know that they're doing a good job, giving them a call and saying, hey, I've been seeing what you're doing and I believe in you. sort of like that organizer who gave me a ride for the first time. And then the other thing I'd like to share is sharing your story, whether that's in a small setting, like with a friend, or a larger setting on social media. Your voice is so important, and your narrative and your story really do have the potential to create change. And so no matter where you start, I encourage you to do so, because we need your voice now.
Thank you. Humanium.
Thank you. One small act for us would be a simple act. Take a stand against gun violence. Educate your communities, your families and friends that this is a global crisis that is threatening communities all over the world, and that a gun is always a threat to peace.
Thank you. And finally, Jock, my friend.
Thank you so much. This is a very complex question. And to answer these questions, I really need to say that the only one way you need to help us, or you need to help me achieve my dream, I need to talk a little bit about children. Teach children to love. Teach them to love. Teach them that they are the people that the world needs to be a better place. Let us be good libraries for our children. Let us be a place where they can find books of love. Let our brain be their library of love. And this is the only way we can achieve peace around the world. Take, for example, the memory of a child is empty, and it is us who fill it with hatred, who fill it with what color we are, who fill it with who is poor, who fill it with fear, who fill it with lack of confidence. But if we are a library where they find hope, peace, love, and confidence in themselves, and then we will build better generations. We'll build a generation that believes in peace. We will also believe in a generation that use their brain to invent peaceful weapons. But if we train them to be looking after money, to be corrupt, then they will use their energy and brain to invent more weapons and to be looking for market. And where do market come from? The market will come when they create conflict, and then they will sell their weapons. But if we teach them love, to be humble, to believe in humanity, that's the better way to solve. I come from South Sudan, and if I'm so specific of what can be done to South Sudan, I cannot tell it, but I believe education is one way to solve South Sudan problem, so that we have literate society who believe in themselves, as I'm doing at Promised Land Secondary School. Thank you so much. And that was a tough question.
Thank you. So good news for you guys, there's no deadline. Anytime that you feel, if there find ways for us to serve you, or any time you can find a way for me to personally serve you, just let us know, let me know. And I'll be sending my personal email to all of you. So don't be shy to just let me know anytime. Thank you, friends.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Over to you, Warda and Belen.
Yes,
Perfect.
thank you.
Thank you. They were so beautiful. I think just before we continue, I think Jock, the living libraries, the power that we hold when we influence, children and children's minds, and the way they think and how they perceive love, how they perceive compassion in action. I thought that was absolutely beautiful. All of you, you guys are just so inspiring, honestly. Over to you, Belen.
Thank you, Warda. Well, there we have all of our calls to action and those amazing questions. And just to remind you all that BNX provides a powerful platform for young leaders and community to create conditions for the world and create peace in our lifetime. Also, to remind you all that visit bnx.org to add your campaigns and acts and support the young leaders you saw here today by sharing their work and donating to their initiatives. Donations that we receive today will go directly to all these folks today and donate. Oh, sorry. So through mini grants, and you can donate by number. So text Billion X to 44321. That's the word Billion X to 44321. Any donation is appreciated. And there's the number in this screen. If I didn't say it correctly, you can just text Billion X to that number.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Any little bit helps. That is Billion X to 44321. Another fun bit that we have been doing during the course of the show this evening, and we've received some of your awesome photos. It's come through to us on our online photo booth before and during the show. So I'd like us to have a look at these, these images and the laureates that you guys matched with, and where you are from and who matched with who. So let's have a look at all of the gallery.
Hi, everyone. We're live from Billion X HQ here in Colorado, United States. And I just want to show you on our big screen some of our amazing photo booth photos.
Wow, I see. So we've got Earl Mentor, who is actually the PeaceJam South Africa affiliate, and he has matched with Jose Ramos Horta, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
There we go. And then we've also got, who has Noah matched with? Tell us who has Noah matched with.
Adolfo Perez Esquivel, the artivist. And you can add yours too.
Yes. As I mentioned, thank you so much, Lauren. As I mentioned before, I was matched with Jody Williams, and my leadership skill was the doer. So once again, thank you so much for displaying that, and also keep it coming, guys. What you can do is, once the show is done, or even now during the show, you can actually upload your images with your laureate, and you can tag us. So at Billion X on Instagram, as well as on Facebook, and at PeaceJam HQ, and we will share them too. Awesome. Over to you, Belen.
Yeah, so we have also a new feature on the Billion X website. So starting in January, by taking the quiz of who is your Nobel Peace Laureate, you will get new points added to your profile, which will allow you to earn some fun prizes and take part of exciting opportunities through the PeaceJam and Billion X platform.
Perfect. Again, once again, thank you all. You guys could have been absolutely anywhere else in the world today, but you have chosen to be with us and with these amazing 7 finalists changing the world. I'd love to thank each and every one of you. Congratulations again to our 7 2021 Billion Acts of Peace Awards winners. And thank you to our special guests, Meng, and musical guest, Marimba Jam, which is also one of the finalists. Please support the amazing work that these young leaders are doing by donating at billionx.org. We would also like to do a special shout out to the PeaceJam and Billion X team, Jill, Noah, Brandy, Lauren and Kate, and our website team at the Ocean Ring Tech, who have helped us create these fun new features and quizzes and the photo booth. Thank you all so much.
Thank you all for coming. And now, to close up this ceremony, our affiliates from around the world are welcoming the 2021 Billion Acts of Peace Awardees into the PeaceJam community. It looks like all of our awardees will be eligible for a mini grant. Congratulations to all. We now want to close our show by sharing some messages from many of the PeaceJam affiliates from all around the world, who wanted to welcome each awardee into PeaceJam and the Billion Acts family. Thank you all for joining us today. and myself, Belen from Merida, I welcome you all to the PeaceJam Merida, to the PeaceJam family.
Hello, my name is Danielle Bromfield from PeaceJam Southeast at Florida State Center for Leadership and Social Change. I'm excited to introduce Billion Axe winner, Kaylee Mycroft. We are presenting her with this award for her work as an international ability activist. Kaylee has furthered the rights of the disabled and empowered them to become leaders in their communities. The opportunity to present this award to Kaylee is special to PeaceJam Southeast, given our long-standing relationship with the Kaylee Foundation. From connecting at Nobel Summits, to her engagement in our Saturday sessions, and even our support for the poetry contest through the Collective Arts Project. We are so honored to present this award. I'm most inspired by Kaylee's persistence and her commitment to the rights of differently abled people in her community and the world. In all things, Kaylee is unapologetically abled. Please give a big PeaceJam welcome to Kaylee Mycroft.
Hello, my name is Samantha Jai Sundara from PeaceJam Mid-Atlantic. I'm a co-founder of Sankofa Empowering Women in Ghana, a PeaceJam program that provides entrepreneurship and skills training to young Ghanaian women. We at PeaceJam Mid-Atlantic are very excited to introduce Billion Axe winner Deja Fox. We are presenting her this award for addressing women's rights, hidden homelessness, and racial justice through her work as an activist, influencer, political strategist, and speaker. What inspired us about Ms. Fox was how she has used her personal experiences with adversity to fuel her activism and continuous dedication to empowering people from all walks of life. At just 21 years old, she has touched the lives of millions of people, leading influential initiatives such as Gen Z Girl Gang and the El Rio Reproductive Health Access Project, and serving as one of the youngest presidential campaign staffers in modern history for Kamala Harris. Please give a big PeaceJam welcome to Deja Fox.
Hello, my name is Michael Varvoglis from PeaceJam Greece. We're excited to introduce the Billion Axe Award winner, Humanium Metal. We're presenting them with this award for their work to transform illegal firearms in regions affected by armed violence into commodities for peace. What inspired us is that not only they are transforming the firearms, but they're also fighting poverty by reinvesting their income into communities that are affected by gun violence. Please give a huge PeaceJam welcome to Humanium Metal.
Hello, my name is Brenda from PeaceJam Ghana. I am here today on behalf of my organization and I am so honored. We are excited to introduce the Billion Axe winner Jock Abraham Thorne and the Bullets to Books campaign. We are presenting them this award for their work to ensure broader access to education in post-war South Sudan and for building cultures of peace amongst youth in conflict-affected areas. To us, what inspires us most about Jock is the fact that he did not stay back in Uganda after acquiring his education. Rather, he went back to his homeland, South Sudan, so that the young people could also benefit from his education. This act right here can only come from a selfless person. And so with a round of applause, let us give a big PeaceJam welcome to Jock Abraham Thorne and the Bullets to Books team.
Hi! Meanwhile, I was excited to introduce Belen Axe winner from South Africa.
We are presenting them this award for the incredible work to bring together youth from all different socio-economic and racial backgrounds to promote great empathy and nation building in post-apartheid South Africa.
To us, what inspired us the most about them was their support towards women empowerment in South Africa. We are also equally grateful for PeaceJam's support towards our Women's Day event this year.
Please give a big PeaceJam welcome to PeaceJam. Congratulations, we are all proud of you.
Hello, my name is Montserrat
I'm a PeaceJam alum from PeaceJam Merida and PeaceJam Europe. I'm excited to introduce Billion Acts winner Salim Al-Harasi. We are presenting him with this award for working to educate the international community on the rights of those with disabilities and advocating for survivors of armed conflict. What inspired me the most about Salim was his resilience and his courage. Please give a big PeaceJam welcome to Salim Al-Harasi.
Hello, my name is Jill. I am a longtime member of Great Lakes PeaceJam and currently am working on the Billion Acts of Peace campaign. I've been involved in PeaceJam for over 10 years now and got my start in the beautiful community that is Great Lakes PeaceJam. Today, I am so very honored to be presenting Billion Acts finalist Detroit Feedback Loop from Detroit, Michigan. We are presenting them with this award for their work to bridge the gap between high food waste and high rates of malnourishment by creating a more sustainable and equitable food system in their community. What inspired me the most about Detroit Feedback Loop was that after noticing these critical problems and the systems around them, they were able to build a community of supporters around them and bring to life their own food system that is based on the wellness of people and the environment. Please join me in giving a big PeaceJam welcome to Nicholas Ng and Camila Cascardo from Detroit Feedback Loop.